Who do you want to get on the show that you haven't had on here? Who have you been trying the whole time? Who's
Dude,
just
there's so many.
There's a lot of insane amount.
Guy Mariano, Eric Costin, Mark Gonzalez,
Josh Kalis,
Anthony
Anthony Van England, Ed Templeton, Eric Ellington.
God, there's a lot.
Atiba.
Yeah.
The list.
We're just scratching the surface, bro. That's just
there's so many, and people think that we are just like
we can snap our
we
fingers.
don't like, dude. It's a two-way road here. It's got to meet, and we got to work together on the show.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about it. Like I said before, it's timing. 8 years of doing this, we just know it's timing. You know,
Alyssa
when
Steamer,
we keep asking people.
Dude,
yeah,
like
go
so
on.
many. There's so many.
I
to
want
go
Buster
down.
Halterman. You already know.
Buster Halterman. It sounds like a boxer, man. I've said that before.
he was a ripper, great
Bro,
leg tricks.
you already know.
My goodness.
So rad.
Sugar canes all day.
Ugh.
Do you ever see the nose blunt slide tail grab he did on Vert? Mm-hmm. In that Planet Earth video, that's still in my mind. It goes, I want to do it like that because he never put his wheels down, just slid the nose.
All right, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special returning guest. Mr. Geoff Rowley is with us. How are you, dude?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me again. It's been, 5 years?
It's been a while.
4 or 5 years?
It's been a minute.
I got to tell you something, man. Your first 9 Club ruined a lot of people's vocabulary. You stunned the world when you said that you pronounce your name Rowley.
Yeah.
You stunned the whole world. Everybody that said Rowley.
Well, I mean, when do you get the chance to straighten that out? You know? And no one had ever asked the question.
True.
I don't know why people said it was Rowley. If you really think about it, Row is ROW. So why?
And then Ley.
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me. An American natural pronunciation in America, everyone just calls me Rowley.
Rowley, yeah.
And in Europe, not as much. I'd say 60-40. You know, that they get it right, Rowley or Rowley. More.
So ever since then, of course, I pronounce your name correctly. I say Geoff Rowley. And maybe some people didn't watch the show. And so sometimes I will get messages. I think just recently I got one on a comment. It says like, how come Chris cannot pronounce Geoff Rowley's name right? And I took the snippet of you saying your name and I put the link there. Yeah. Next comment was like, oh, my bad. I didn't even know. I had to correct them because they think I'm wrong.
Thank you. My mother and father very much enjoyed that. Finally somebody got it right.
It's about time.
No, I appreciate that. And yeah, it is. It's Rowley. For the record, again, it's Rowley, not Rowley. Get it right.
What was the rhyme? You said roly poly something?
Yeah, roly poly, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made him cry. Something like that. I used to get teased in school with that one. But that's, if you want to remember it, there you go. Roly poly, pudding and pie.
Roly poly, pudding and pie.
You heard it here.
Hey, thank you so much for coming back. It's been a while. It's so good to see you, dude. A lot has happened since you came on the show. The original time, and we did a stop and chat, a FaceTime Zoom one.
Yeah, we did like a up in the mountains kind of COVID, kind of one over the phone, didn't we? It's never real, the same. I'd like to be in person.
100%.
You know, I'm a people person.
Me too.
That's where I am.
You walked in the door, we got the vibe, right? It's a vibe.
I brought half my house here today.
You did.
I can see that. Yeah. I can see. Well,
actually, if I'd have brought half my house, the whole back would be full of taxidermy, so I'm sorry if I ruined anyone's perception, but I did bring a few little trinkets here today just to make it fun. Why not?
And you, as you did last time too, we encourage the guests to bring stuff and make it more like you're at home hanging out, just kicking it.
Yeah, I need my energy around me. It's the right energy.
Do you wear that jacket at home too?
Occasionally, but you have to ask the wife on that one.
Let's get right to it. We'll get to all the hunting and lifestyle stuff a little bit later, but I am so interested. Congrats on the toy machine.
Yeah.
How
Thank you.
did that come about? Well, listen, Freedom, loved it. You actually sent us some boards made by Freedom. You had the 9 Club screened on there, nice little laser etching.
Yeah.
On there. It was great. We just showed out of nowhere. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome.
And it was cool, man. So what happened? What transpired?
I mean, a lot happens in 5 years. In skateboarding, a lot happens in 1 year, right?
You got that right.
just to be straight, like I didn't want to do it the same way as I did before, if you know what I mean, with a board company. It's so much work. It's so much 24/7, and I'm not in that stage of my life. Do you know what I mean? I've got 2 kids and a partner, and I can't be having like guys sleeping on my couch all day long the same way. But having said that, also, like it kind of dawned on me, I don't want to spend every single day of my life just making skateboards or being, it's a little too much when you've done it your whole life like that. So there was a little bit of are you going to jump in full steam? Because it was working. Like the boards were selling, the brand was doing good.
Great name.
But something told me, no, this isn't where you put all your eggs right now. No, focus on your skating. Don't let anything get in the way. And when you put too much business around, like the physical side of it, especially as a pro skater or a pro skater that wants to own their own businesses or own their own skateboard company, there's a labor of love a lot to that. It's a very difficult business. And I just didn't want to take away from my actual skateboarding. That's the just honesty of it, is that I realized I can't do all of that like that. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
For sure.
Because it takes a lot to curate and build a team and put all that together, and you have to put carrots in front of everybody to help them, make all the right steps and all of that. And I thought, I'm not quite in that frame of my life right now, and I don't want to let my skating go.
Sure.
Like there's that, when you've got a family and other obligations around you, like I've always been that guy that like I always protected my skating so that I could always feel confident and always enjoy it.
What do you mean protected?
If some things become a bigger priority than your skating, or some things are a distraction from your skating, whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's children, whether it's a business, whether it's family matters, whether it's personal.
Sure.
Like I think, or at least I feel like one of the reasons why I'm still here and still an active pro at like 48, I haven't turned pro when I was like 16 or 17 years old, was that. It's like anytime anything might get in the way of your everyday skating too much, you need to watch out for that. Right?
Sure.
Like, and there was a little bit of where I felt like maybe I couldn't do all that again, build a whole big team, make all videos and go through all that again. And maybe that wasn't the point. Maybe the point was I need to make sure my skating was good. And that kind of dawned on me a little bit of just less is more. Step back and just maybe ride for a brand with a team that you like, a team that's progressive and a team that's young and fun, but also active, doing things. That's the best scenario for Geoff. Like if I'm on a team like that, that's just positive and progressive, then my skating gets better.
And that is Toy Machine, 100,000%. We just had Braden Hoban on the show, and like those guys travel so much. Their whole video is based on traveling. Like it seems like that it's a perfect opportunity for you to jump in there, go on a trip or two, be with the team.
Yeah, I'm down for any of that. I mean, I still travel a lot skating. I still drive everywhere while I'm filming. I'm never afraid to get in the car and go wherever I need to go to get a trick. Like I still feel like that, but when you have to pull other people along and all of that kind of side of it, I don't think that's the best use of my time right now. And yeah, Toy Machine was a good fit. I mean, I've always loved Ed. I've always loved Ed's artwork and his graphics and his just feeling and take on skateboarding. I've always enjoyed it. I've always felt like it had that like skate rat edge to it, and none of the rest of the brands have that feeling.
Interesting.
Like almost like a more relatable and a little bit more of a conversation than too strong of a brand, thing. And I always liked that about Toy Machine. And I love Ed. I mean, I moved to the US in 1994, and like one of the first people I started skating with, and probably the person I skated a lot most with, was Ed Templeton and Jeremy Klein a lot back then. And I gravitated more skating with Ed a lot because he lived across the road from me, so it was just natural. I became a good friend of Ed a long time ago, and we had a lot in common. We like the same music. We have similar fucked up humor. I love drawing. I always sketch out everything I do. I even skethed out the fist over there and sent the sketch to Ed. So it's kind of like this.
It's already made, though.
We that thing on the top, and I said kind of like that as well. So I always liked that side of it, and it was pretty. I mean, I called Sinclair first because I thought it'd be funny to call Sinclair, not Ed.
The team manager.
I called the team manager and asked, "What do you think?" Asked the team manager, "Can you ask Ed?"
What?
and that's what he did. That's
no, he
what
didn't.
Yeah, he did.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
He backdoored it.
Sinclair,
That was it. I just threw it on the table. I'm like, "Hey." He's like, "Oh, I'll ask some of the guys, see what the team thinks, see everyone. I'll get back to you."
Wow.
You know,
that's incredible.
Yeah,
I love that you went through that.
Throw yourself
process.
on the table sometimes. You got to be a lamb to the slaughter every now and again, right? And, yeah, he could have said no. Could have said, "You're old. No, we don't need you. You hunt too much."
Listen, Sinclair.
You don't
listen,
skate.
Geoff. I almost feel like if the flip thing never happened, you would have been on Toy Machine from the very beginning.
I mean, I'd have always been naturally comfortable riding for Toy Machine. I know that.
Right. Yeah.
So that, I mean, in a nutshell,
it makes perfect sense.
I got out of all the artwork out there on skateboards as well. Like you can ride for a brand, or you can ride for like a brand with a bit more lifestyle. I think Ed's art and Ed's kind of style of graphics, I feel I relate to it. I relate to the period. I relate to the style of doing your own graphics, and that was a big thing. You know, that was the only thing I asked Ed. You know, was, "Hey, you have to draw all my graphics, though, all of them, every one of them."
That's a prerequisite.
You know, I don't care if it's a little sketch on the board, but I'd like you to draw all of them, and because then it means a lot to me. You know, and that's what else do you need, Geoff? I need nothing else. I don't need anything. That's it. Just give me the graphics that I want, and I'm happy.
So that was the
but the thing that I said to him on it was, you never had to draw your own graphics, right? No one ever told you what to put on your board, right, Ed? I'm the same.
Yeah.
Right? So you understand that, right? Like, it's hard for me to allow other people to do board graphics for me.
Right.
It just is. It never feels right.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I mean, historically, a lot
You've
of
had thousands of boards, probably.
before, like the Freedom and the brand, before Flip and all those graphics,
Sure.
I never necessarily liked a lot of those graphics. Do you know what I mean? Just being honest, I didn't. You know, some of them I did, some of them I didn't. But the graphics I always gravitated to, like pro graphics, I always gravitated to ones that felt personal, ones that felt like, that's the style of skater is, that's what that guy's into, and his graphic reflects that. Yeah, that's sick. I want to ride that board right now. You know, I might not buy 10 of them in a row because my next board might be an Eric Dressen because I want to learn to skate like Eric Dressen.
I mean, you're describing the 80s.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I started skating in the late 80s, right? And like, so there's always that kind of creative end to skateboard graphics to me that is important. And you get too branded, it gets boring to me. And I think Toy Machine graphics are fun.
What was one of your favorite graphics that you've had over your career?
You know, to be honest with you, I like the Freedom graphic with the two bulldogs.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I really like that one. Man.
Who did that one? You did?
Yeah, my friend Falu Caroli, almost the same as Rowley. Falu Caroli is an incredible artist from Argentina. He does a ton of Santa Cruz graphics and a ton of Speed Wheels and OJ and stuff like that. He did a lot of my Freedom graphics, almost all of them.
Oh,
I liked a lot of those graphics. They were good graphics. So.
Well, also you had control over it too. Like your whole career, I doubt you had control over your graphics, right? They were just kind of burning and turning them.
No, I mean most of them I did. I did, to be honest with you. But if I didn't have my hands on it, I never really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I never liked to ride it the same way. And whenever I've like had graphics that I've kind of created, like the first Toy Machine graphic with the fists like that, it gets me motivated to skate. It makes me want to grip the board, set it up, put a sticker on it, and go ride. Right? And it's hard to get that feeling your whole life. Right? And so
totally.
I feel a lot like that with it. And I don't know. Ed was really good to me. To just like when I was an 18-year-old kid moving from England, you know, shiny balls, didn't really know anybody, only had a limited scope of music. You know, I remember I was driving down the road one time and I think there was an Offspring tape or something like that in the car, and I just had a load of just cheap tapes I bought from like the music store. And I remember we were driving down the road and Ed just pulled one out of the tape machine. I think it was the Offspring or some shitty like freaking Orange County punk band. Threw it out the window. He just threw it straight out of the window.
Tape.
Yeah, but as it was flying in the air, in my mind, I remember going, sick, that one must suck dick. That one sucks. Right? So I don't know. I think Ed exposed me to a little bit more than I think I don't know I've ever given him credit to, and him and Deanna both gave me a lot of confidence as a young, you know, man, 18, 20 years old. wasn't sure of anything, wasn't sure of much. They made me feel comfortable, and that's priceless.
Yeah,
you know. So I'm stoked that it's came full circle, and I'm riding the toy machine now, and
great.
I feel really motivated to skate. I'm in a good shape in my life. You know, I'm mentally strong and physically strong as I can be. Beating yourself up your whole life. It's like it goes from one leg to the other leg, to your hip, to your back, to your shoulder, to your neck, to your freaking brain, all of it.
Doesn't stop.
So I'm just stoked to be on a team, young team that's active. It's like team that I like, Leo Romero, Braden, and you know Shiloh Katori. Like,
great,
she's a ripper. So there was a lot of that too, and you see like the right team coming together there, and like timing was a big thing too. So the timing of like wanting to ride for Toy Machine and being able to, I sure do appreciate.
It's great,
and
man. I love
starting to film, trying to film a full part and
full
everything
part.
Yeah, like it doesn't. Yeah, or whatever a part is a full part. What's a full part?
Whatever's a full part to
Is it
you.
2 minutes?
Whatever's a full part to you.
You tell me, is it 2 minutes?
I think 2 minutes could be
2 minutes is
considered.
good.
I've seen full parts through 2 minutes.
God, you got to be good though.
It's got to be real good.
It's got to be really good. It's got to be Tom Penny or someone, right?
Yeah, or could be you. Could be
2
you.
minutes.
Okay, fine.
3.5
8 minutes.
3.5 minutes.
8 minutes.
3 minutes.
That's what I want.
3 to
8
4
minutes.
8 minutes. I
8
just did an
minutes.
8-minute part. That's gonna kill me.
No, but we
8 minute part.
Come on.
I just did like a 7.5 minute part. That like last Thrasher Freedom part was 7
long,
minutes or something.
What's your favorite video part that you've had, and how long is that?
My favorite video part you mean out of my parts?
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite.
Really?
All of them.
Really?
Yeah, but every street part like that I've made like there is documents a period of your life. So when you look back at them, you remember certain things, and if you have regrets, then you've got a problem, right? Like, but I don't really have like regrets like that with video parts. They all are a lot of skating, and they all give me different flashbacks for different reasons. I mean, I could argue that Hookup's Asian Goddess. That video part was a big deal because I'd never had a video part in America for an American company, and that was a year after I moved to the United States, and that was a short little video part. But when that came out, I was stoked on that, right? Because it was the first part you'd had,
Right.
and you don't know what your skating looks like until you look at it, remove yourself from it. So I'd never seen that. So, that part, I enjoyed a Volcom part I had, Volcom Chichikov video. It was a mini ram part, but I filmed it up in the mountains, so I was able to stay up in the mountains and filmed it in like 3 weeks. Video part. Like parts like that stand out. The bigger, gnarlier parts, all the flip videos and the Vans videos, which I've made 3 Vans parts as well, 2 full Vans street parts, and then a Vans mini ram part. I enjoy them all.
But
I fucking love skating. You didn't recognize? I fucking love skateboarding. I really love skateboarding. I don't have those like periods where I was over it. I've never had that.
Really?
Yeah, I've never even had periods where I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm fucking quitting. Like physically, sometimes I go, I'm done. Just picking the bones up.
Even when you're on the couch with the injury and you can't skate and you're just like frustrated and just like that
just pisses me off and makes me want to skate better. I don't know. Yeah, it does. Honestly, it makes. I don't know, like having that drive. I think that the one thing that does scare me is that drive, losing your drive or your passion for the thing that you like to do. And I think for a lot of people that when that happens, no one necessarily chooses that. So that's a worry where you go, am I just going to be over it one day, but I'm still waiting. I'm 48. I'm still waiting for that to happen. I've slammed a lot, broke a lot of bones, had a lot of injuries. We don't necessarily need to go in, and they're in every video. All those slams are in every video, but they never stop me wanting to do it anymore. I think a lot of guys turn pro. You have most pros are around for 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, not 10, 20 years, most, right? And I think a lot of that is the mental strength to want to go on. Someone breaks their arm, then they break their leg, then they break their ankle, and then they have bad whiplash, and then that's enough for them. It's never too much.
And it also goes back to what you were saying before about like not letting anything in your life get in the way of skateboarding. Because I know that happens to a lot of people. Like it happened to me here with this show. Like this show creates a lot of work for me, and it interrupts my skateboarding time, But I love it too because we're sitting here talking about skateboarding. So it's, you know what I mean? But
When I was
not letting stuff get in your way of skating.
When I was 27, I broke my ankle, was like hanging off sideways, and when I was looking at that, when you feel like 27's old, you're like, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you don't. I didn't really call it quits, obviously. But there's those times where you're just like, how am I going to recover from this injury? You know, so it's hard to come back from those.
Absolutely.
Moments.
I mean, that's constant. That's a constant like worry for a pro skater, and we don't get any support. We don't get any physical support or a mental support or emotional support whatsoever, and we don't really. I mean, who's going to give us it? I mean, the amount of times I've had, surgeries or broke an ankle or broke something and had to deal with it alone, it's immense. If there's anything somebody watching out here could do for skateboarding, it would be to look after, the people that like give their body to it. Young pro skaters who break their ankle and have no medical insurance. Young pro skater that hit their head really hard, which I've seen, at big events, and no one to pay their medical bills. Those are the scary times. Those are the scary ones where you get hurt and you go, I can't even afford to pay for my medical.
Right. Happens a
Those
lot.
are the real fears that we have as a pro skater, right? Or real worries that are real life worries that there's no support structure for, other than like other pros or us talking about it on shows like this, right? Like no one has a glimpse into it. They want to know. They want to know, how does that guy every day get up and go and do it again? How does Tony Hawk at 50 do 50 tricks that are all really gnarly and just put them out?
Right.
Probably filmed it in, I don't know, 3 days probably or something like that, like 18 tricks a day or something like that. I don't know. I think there's something to that. I would like to see a little bit. I don't know where it begins, but I just know that we're getting hurt. We're getting hurt. We're getting beaten up, and nobody is really raising the question of, well, how can we help?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Huberman does. You had him on the show.
Yeah. Andrew
right?
Huberman. Yeah.
That's a very interesting thing. Like CTE and all of that. I've lost a couple of friends to CTE. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we've lost people in BMX and in surfing and skating and other sports to it, and that one rings true. How do you know those signs?
Right.
And if you've I watched the Huberman show and he said, "Oh, you rattle your head, or you should be okay." I disagree. I kind of I watched it and I kind of disagree a little, but you don't know what it's like to be in that person's head. You're not, when you're skateboarding, you're not just rattling your head around. You're not just tweaking your head around. You're doing movements and moving your body in a way that I don't think your average person can comprehend or even know what that's doing to your brain.
True.
Do I feel the same as I did 20, 30 years ago? No, I don't. Is my head the same? No, it's not. It's layered with trauma.
Well, I thought it was interesting. What he said too was like, hitting your head at one point and waiting a year before you go and potentially hit your head again.
I hit my head 3 weeks ago.
That's a long time. You know what I mean? Like 3 weeks ago, what were you doing?
I whacked the back of my head 3 weeks ago. I never slammed like that, ever. I was never that guy who would slam and go backwards or even go forward and hit their head. Never. But I did the other day.
What were you doing? Were you filming?
Are you okay?
I was just trying to film a trick for in a skate park. And I was warming up and I tried to do it before I was quite warmed up. So I went to come in the bank the wrong angle and did that full whip out to the back of my head.
Ooh.
I'll give you the footage. You can show it.
You whipped out in the back of it. Oh my God.
It wasn't that bad, but as soon as I hit my head, I went, fuck, I just hit my head. That never happens. What the fuck?
So throughout the whole years of you doing all these crazy maneuvers, you rarely hit your head?
No, not really. Like I've hit my face here and places, but never really like whack the head like that, really. Huh. Yeah, not yet anyway.
Yeah, I did that early on, like as a younger kid.
Yeah.
But as an older skater, never. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to that point usually unless you make a mistake.
Of course, and it does happen. Obviously.
It does.
Freak
happen.
accidents, man. They can happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that we will look back, and maybe it's this generation or my generation, all the rail skaters and the Sturt skaters. We will look back and we will see something come from that. We will. Mark my words. Play this tape back. Because there will be that stuff there with all of us.
Yeah.
Scary.
It's at one point or another. For sure.
Yeah. And it has to be addressed at some point as well. Yeah, but it's never like the injuries and things like that never really shook me, never made me not want to skate, or never made me feel like that's it, I've had enough. It was more just
fueled the fire.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, and also once you start, it's like when do you stop? We've already kind of made those decisions on it.
So when you're filming for like a new video part, right? And I mean, obviously our whole careers, we're trying to, get better and better. And so where are you at right now with like filming a video part? Are you trying to, look at him smile, you know what I mean? Like, what do you like, how are you like, are you trying to get the best clips that you one up yourself, or are you just skating and having fun and trying to do gnarly shit at the same time?
What the last thing that you said? Okay. Trying to do gnarly shit at the same time.
That defines.
While still
when I think about
fun.
you, I think about gnarly shit.
That's
dude.
what I'm saying, though,
yeah.
right? It's like,
broken record here. I took a fucking slam like 4 months ago. Right as I was getting on Toy Machine, right as I was like looking at that, right, I took a fucking bad slam on both my knees. Kind of a weird ragdolly slam. And I've filmed a couple of tricks since then. So I've been skating in the last few months, but not like full steam.
okay.
Letting my body just get back in. And I've filmed a handful of tricks. Filmed a bunch of stuff for the social media needs that are ever present every single day. You post something, film 20 tricks, post them next day, you want another 20. Well, it takes a few hours to go film those tricks and go meet somebody to get it done.
Right.
So I've been skating quite a bit, but just steadily filming. Okay. I'll usually I start filming a lot more like in the winter months, like going October, November, December, January. I get the
cooler.
English in me. Like once it cools down in California, I get all juiced up. If I can put a hoodie on and just go skate, or a long sleeve, then I'm good. I feel a lot better going into it.
You don't want to go skate in the summer, 90 degree?
I do. I mean, a lot of the drainage ditch stuff I skate's like nasty exposure by yourself, but I prefer it, So if I'm starting to film video parts, I pace it.
Okay.
I know my rhythm. I know through the summer it's pretty hectic, and I don't rush it through the summer and then all of that.
You got to get on these.
So I'm filming. I'm starting to work on another part, but I'm not in any rush right now.
Okay.
I'm enjoying my skating.
What about are you bringing that table in that truck of yours with all these spots?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Where do you have that table? Is this at your house?
Yeah, it's on my driveway right now.
How did you get that table?
Oh, that's a real long story. It dates way back to Huntington Beach on Talbot Avenue. And say no more. Okay. Maybe the year 1998.
No.
Really?
You've
For
had
that
that
long?
table for that
Absolutely.
long?
Wow.
Yeah, 1998.
What?
So that's the okay.
Maybe early 99, but no, 99. I'm pretty sure 98.
26 years. Wow.
Because that's the one you propped up and back 50'd off it and like, yeah.
Yeah, all of the table footage, that's it.
That's
the
it.
same
one.
table.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that will definitely have a prominent place in the next video for sure.
Perfect. You got to get on some of these Toy Machine trips. I'm telling you, man.
I'm
Those
down.
guys' energy is like no other, and it translates through their videos too.
Yeah, I want to get out and skate with Leo, skate some rails a little bit more.
Yeah.
He hit me up. That's the first thing he says. I want to get you out and get on some rails. I'm like, fucking rails. Man.
You got to learn the cross lock.
Are they going to balance or are they going to cross
You
lock?
got to learn the cross lock, Jeff. Come on.
Can't do that. Can't do that, man. That's freaking.
When we had Braden Hoban on the show, he was like, "Man, I'm cheating when I'm doing the cross lock." It was so funny to hear him
Can't
say
do that pinch, that lockdown. That like, I don't want to be there.
You want heels?
I don't want to be there. I don't really. I don't know. I'd rather see someone balance.
Yeah.
I think it's sick. It's gnarly what Jamie Foy can do and what Braden can do on rails.
Telling you.
Like insane how the balance, just however they're locked in.
Right.
But the balance is something else. That's been blowing me away. I like the progression of skating in the last couple of years. The proprioception and that side of it, not the tricks. The tricks I can get and the tricks I see and go, oh, finally somebody's doing that. Because I think a lot of us are street skaters wish we could skate different ways, right? And you wish you could skate like Tiago, right? Mixed with PJ Ladd or something. We all like these different styles of skating, and I don't know, all of the rail stuff's just gone to another level. But I don't enjoy watching it as much as like a completely balanced backside nose grind or frontside nose grind or frontside 5-0s. I don't know, backside 5-0s pinched to me and frontside 5-0s pinched. They just look a little sloppy. You know, crooked grinds are different, like pinching crooked grinds.
There's a way to do it,
and
right.
even back smiths and front smiths, the way that I would say that the way that someone like Jamie Thomas and Ed Templeton do them is a lot different than the way Jamie Foy does it and Braden Hoban probably does it a little bit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
They still pinch and hold more, and there's a lot more like, I don't know, fluid movement in the trick through if Jamie or Ed or somebody did it. You can see the difference.
Yeah,
I still prefer that
trips me out.
traditional way of watching it. I like to see on a feeble or truck, like, you know, with the board almost vertical like
tilted
that.
over,
Yeah.
I feel like Jamie's front feebles are like super tweaked almost. Yeah, like
they're unbelievable.
Yes.
It's almost like backwards and upside down.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do it, so I wish I could. If you know what I mean. So it's a lot easier to say, yeah, I don't like that, but still, I'm a traditional though. I still like to see tricks done properly.
Yeah,
you know,
for
I don't
sure.
mind a little sloppy, but I still like to see them done like with good form. You know, standing up straight and all of that.
Yeah.
If possible.
One thing that we want to talk about too is because all the van stuff, right? You got first of all, it's Skateboarding Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats, 2024.
Big time, definitely,
Thank you.
bro.
How was that? Ed Templeton gave a nice little speech.
Yeah, I think Ed got inducted maybe 5 or 6 years ago or something like that, and I did Ed's speech. It was in Orange County back then. Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I had no idea. Whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
but it's well deserved.
And they
You
just
already know.
called me out. Yeah, I'm humbled by it completely, and you know, it's again another one of them things that like trophies and like things. That's not why I do those things. You know, like going to contests. I don't go to a contest to win the money and then party all night like that. Like I'd rather just go and skate there, and if I win, I'm pretty stoked because just wanted to skate.
Sure. It's recognition.
It's humbling.
It's nice.
It's humbling, and I was stoked that Ed was able to kind of repay the favor. You know, I meant to bring it here today. I was going to read Ed's speech here today, but I forgot. I forgot the piece of paper. I'm so very sorry. Maybe I can record it when I get home and put it on the Instagram or something.
That's great. That's great.
But no, I remember doing Ed's Hall of Fame thing and thinking and looking at everyone in the crowd, thinking, yeah, he wasn't really accepted. You know what I'm saying? He's got to be noted. You got to tell the truth in periods like that. And like, I was just thankful that Ed said it how it is. Like, there's a lot we don't have in common. You know, there's a lot we don't have in common. Like, I like the outdoors and I like hunting and guns and shooting stuff. And Ed's like a strong vegan and more liberal-minded somewhat. And I just appreciated that in that speech he just told it out was that like friendship transcends a lot of those things, you know, and like we have more in common and more things that are good to talk about than not, and like you don't have to agree on everything like that. Like I really believe that.
Very
I
true.
really do, especially with regards to diet and like we're all different, man. It's a cycle of life. So what if you eat freaking lettuce and water every day?
Right.
Like you're not doing any harm, you know. So in the same breath, if you eat freaking just a steak all day long and Coca-Cola, I mean, not that I do, you know, but so I don't know. I was just thankful on that, and yeah, it's humbling.
Yeah,
you know, I'm stoked.
Congrats on that, man.
Yeah, big time,
It's
bro.
beautiful.
They could do a better job with the trophies, though. What do you think?
They're a little light, you know. Listen, compared to this Skater of the Year, with this is nice bronze, and
we
they got
need
the
some
concrete.
stage 1 indies or something on there. You know,
There you go. Well, that's more of like a 1960s type skateboard right there. They got on there, you know.
yeah, it's pretty
Bringing
rad.
back the history.
It's pretty rad that we have that, you know. And
Yeah.
like I'm very thankful, and this show that you guys have has done so much for educating people on like our skate history and just our little differences as people and in our community. And I think like the Hall of Fame and those kind of events and things like that as well just shine a light on how different skateboarding is to other things and other pastimes, and that there's still people within the industry that care enough to make the effort to go and do that for us all, you know. And there is those guys out there, and they do, you know, your Steve Douglases and your Steve Van Doren and Bob Boyle and those guys that are doing what they can to help those things. I'm thankful for that, you know. And but yeah, good timing. It's been a wild summer with that. We had the Rad book come out too, and Ed's book came out.
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
Like the timing of me riding for Toy Machine was pretty, like, not planned, but the timing, and Ed's book came out like pretty much the same week, and had like a full museum art show in Long Beach, right? And there was tons of pictures in that of like growing up with Ed and those
That's
things.
amazing.
And same with that Rad book that just came out in the UK. Lot of freaking cool things showing the history of skating coming out right now, and like quite a few other books right now being curated to show the history of skating. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah,
you know.
dude.
So I'm just thankful that I'm still alive every fucking day. You know,
We're still breathing.
it's shit like that though, like the Hall of Fame when you stand there and, you know, Jeremy Klein went on just before me, which was a trip for me to see Jeremy Klein on stage. Like, get on stage, Jeremy, get on stage, man. Come on. But no, it's been a good summer. It really has.
And not to mention 25 years of Vans. That is incredible.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Man.
For sure. Late 1998, the first shoe came out in 1999.
Damn.
And
That is crazy.
Yeah, like
do you
I
ever
said-
look back at the whole, not a timeline, but just like, do you ever reflect? Because that's a long time. Listen, you've done a lot for that company as well.
I'm stoked. I mean, it's hard to have a relationship for any one or entity for 25 straight years. So, you know, I'm thankful for that effort, you know, and that mutual kind of journey. And it's been fucking great. It really has. Like, I mean, everyone's seen in the news that Vans has been through hell in the last year or two, right? Like everyone, it's not hidden.
Sure.
That they've been through those hard times, and it's times like that to me tell it how it is. You know what I mean? It really separates, you know, I don't know, loyalty and friendships, and those things can blow up when a business is is struggling, and we're not there. We're not there, if you know what I'm saying. Like, so I'm thankful for that. Like, we've got a great team, great fucking product, and the fact that I've been there for 25 years, and I can say this just honestly from the bottom of my heart, they've treated me really, really well. They've looked after me the whole period through, and you know, I've made that same effort back, and I, you know, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that.
And the Van Dorens, man, you know, like we had Steve Van Doren on the show, and thanks for hooking that up too. You were instrumental in getting him over here. But the fact, Steve Van Doren has never skateboarded, and he has done more for skateboarding than anybody that I know that skateboards. You know what I mean?
That's a trip, isn't it?
It's
Think
a
about it.
trip. He loves it. He lives it. He breathes it.
Yeah.
It's,
He breathes
it's-
the brand.
it's
Like, he breathes the
incredible.
Vans brand, and the Vans brand and its lifestyle is built from, you know, surf, skate, you know, snow culture. Really, it really is. And so, you know, I think Steve's been through it all. He's been through all of that early on, you know, and he recognized that the skaters and the surfers and everybody picked up his dad's brand, and he's a people person,
He
right? So you
really
appreciate
is.
that, and you do the right thing by a Van Doren, and man, it'll come back tenfold.
great family right there.
Hang on one second.
beautiful,
I got
man.
something I need to say.
Go ahead. He's looking down. He's got some waffles right there. Boom.
he's got
He's
his-
grabbing the
the
Paul Van
wise
Doren.
words.
All right, Paul Van Doren's words of wisdom.
All right, what do we got?
Lesson number 1: don't be sure of yourself. You could be wrong. That's actually a good one. Lesson
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
2:
Let that settle in.
know yourself.
Oh,
Lesson 3: show up.
okay.
Lesson 4: know your worth. Lesson 5: never catch pigeons.
Oh, that's it.
That's
he told that-
personal.
He told that story
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
show.
he
Yep,
did.
yep.
Lesson 6: don't do a half-assed job. I'm going to run through these. Lesson 7: stand up for what's right. Lesson 8: trust people. Lesson 9: the accountant isn't always right. They're usually not. Lesson 10: acknowledge failure. Absolutely. Lesson 11: mind the store. And lesson 12: be a positive thinker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Paul.
Wow,
Paul Van
that is
Doren.
great. That's good.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Don't catch pigeons, man.
What a yeah.
Good one.
Steve Van Doren told that story on the show. It was great.
Yeah, don't ever catch pigeons.
But congrats on that, dude. I think that's awesome, man. And you do have where are those white shoes that are coming
right
out
here.
pretty soon? Oh, they're over
That's
there,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
are
those-
great looking
Yeah,
shoes.
those
And
are
this is
like-
not a commercial. It's
These
No,
are
they'll be
pretty
sold
buttery.
out before they even freaking go on live.
Jeff, I need a pair of those, man. Look at those things. They're beautiful.
Not mad at those.
No, we've been doing a ton of stuff because the 25 year we've done a ton of like limited collabs with, Labour Skate Shop. We have one coming with Pawn Shop. We did one last summer with Dime.
Those are right
so
there.
we're about to relaunch this original colorway as like a 25-year pack that's coming out soon. But just a lot of kind of not retrospective, but just a lot of things from that period with newer stuff this year.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's crazy to be doing this. You know, 12, 13-year-old kid, you start skating. It's what you love doing, and
Little hobby.
So I'm humbled by it all.
Yeah,
I really am.
We just had Don Brown on the show, and he had said too, when they were doing S and U50'd the hubba in those shoes, the Eras, was it the
Black canvas made in USA Eras.
He said that he knew at that moment that S had work to do or something like that. To that point was like,
it's almost like the skateboarding is going to change. The footwear is going to change at that point.
Right.
Yeah,
like
it was tech shoes. It was more like that shoe you have to your right over there. It's more, shoes look more like that, and then they started to go like this.
Yes. And so he knew S had a strut like a long road ahead.
The work cut out for them.
Yeah.
Did you know that this was not that you knew that was Don Brown's thinking, but you were starting a new trend.
I wanted to see skateboarding up on billboards. I wanted to see skateboarding on MTV commercials shown the way that we watched it in skate videos. I wanted the bigger mainstream audience, the mainstream. Apparently there isn't a mainstream anymore. Bullshit. Okay. The bigger mainstream, you just want to expose them to skating. And that's what I thought with Vans. That was the opportunity with that side of it. It's like, shit, like we can go and do these gnarly tricks and then more people can see them, but not people that we don't want to see skating. Everyone just gets to look at it. I think the stuff that Vans was doing then was very visible because it had a little bit more of a machine behind it, and that machine was quiet. So when we got it back on track, late 1999, early thousands, and that. I think that was the main thing that I saw. I talked to Don. I seen Don around everywhere, and I think it was a shift. I think people were skating different, and me personally, I couldn't get what I needed out of the shoes that were there. And once I got on Vans and got Vans shoes going, I could not even think of wearing another shoe and skating the things that I was skating. Couldn't even think about it.
Well, because not long after the Era, that's when your other shoe came out. That shoe,
yeah,
right?
the white one. That was the first shoe, and then this is the second shoe. So that would have came out late 1999, early 2000, and this would have came out 2000, 2001.
But you're going backwards now. You're going with back to the puffies.
Well, yeah, some things don't change. So you tell me, like 25 years ago that was
right,
and that's what's happening now, right?
It's true.
So it's just
come
a
back.
shoe.
It's come back.
Come back around.
I don't look at like product that we use to skate quite like that. It's designed or made for skate, right?
Right.
So if you get it right, it should be good 20 years later.
True.
Well, I think what was funny is that like those shoes back then were so puffy and there was so much support on them and everything, and then you do the biggest grind ever done in the smallest like they're good shoes, obviously. The support in them is not like the other shoes.
Yeah.
So that's why I think people were like, "What? You can skate gnarly stuff with thin shoes?" And that's when you change the game.
Well, that was the Volk revolution. People realized that the vulcanized shoe process molds to the shape of your feet like a pair of Levi's 501 would, right? And then you have a custom shoe, right? Like the high toe bumper around the front when you start doing a couple of kick flips. After you wear it in and you get your kickflip flick, it's the same every go, but they don't last that long, right? So that's the trade-off. The trade-off is you have confidence in your skating with the Volk process, but it's never going to last that long. It's true crepe. It's molded around your feet. But it's great for skating, right? So that was my thought on it. I would rather be confident and know that I have contact with my board than feel cool and think I look cool and kind of have contact with my board.
That's a great way to break it down. Really.
Do you have a process in your shoes of wearing them in, or do you just put them on right away and just go?
No, I actually don't like new shoes. I like to walk around the shoes for weeks on end, maybe months on end, even before I start skating in them, if I can.
How long do you skate a pair of shoes for, usually?
Till it... month, two.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on how much I'm skating. you know. But yeah,
Probably where you're skating.
it's more like once the shape of them is really broken down to the point where I have no structure, then I need to change them because my shoe's going to fall off in the middle of a bank sliding down it.
Yeah.
Feet, which does happen, right?
That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm easy on product though. I'll ride stuff till it's dead. Like I've always been like that, even as a little kid. You know.
Are you skating these shoes now, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got a pair on right there. It's like a custom pair. It looks like.
What are we?
These are fancy flash ones.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Wanted to look nice today.
He's got the special treatment over there at Vans.
But as soon as we're done talking 25 years of Vans, this jacket's going off though because I'm sweating.
You're sweating.
Balls.
That's a little older than 25 years.
This is from
that's a little
This
bit
is from the 1900 from the Boer Wars in Africa.
Man.
Yeah, a little bit of a military historian buff, just a little bit.
A little bit. You got a lot of stuff going on. All the hunting and lifestyle stuff. I mean, we do have you brought a couple little things over here, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I have a knife and tool company. You know,
That's
I
right.
work with an outfit in business called Kika Outfitters, and here in California, and I help guide hunts. You know, predominantly desert bighorn sheep.
Oh, yeah?
mule deer, elk, but predominantly sheep, and so I do that a lot. You know,
How long have you been interested in?
my whole life I've been
Okay.
interested in the outdoors, and I've been, you know, hunting actively for probably, I don't know, 13, 15 years, like around about there. And I've been helping guide, you know, I don't know, 11, 12 years or something.
Super rad.
But I enjoy it. Keeps me in good shape. It's the only thing that keeps my attention, aside from skating. Like, I'm pretty highly strung. If I'm not doing a lot, I get... my body needs to be doing a lot. That's probably why I ended up being a skater, you know. Like, I have to be active, or it doesn't do good for me. It's not good for my mind or my body. So I would always just go out into the mountains, go, you know, hike and climb and look for animals and do all that. So, but I think it was about 2011, 10, 11, 12, something like that. Like, consciously, I knew I needed to make that shift. I'd put it on the back burner my whole life. I knew I was like very actively into the outdoors. And so in all my spare time over the years, I would just more and more and more and more and more. And then when I started hunting a lot and guiding a lot, I realized that the strength I could get there, I could never get in a gym. This is while I'm like having skate injuries, you know, propeller. I had four surgeries during the filming of the propeller.
Oh my God.
And two of them were bad. The other two weren't bad. Like the last two were like whiplash. So I had like bone spurs on my neck. So I had neck surgery, like injections, just epidural ones. But the other two surgeries were like nasty.
What was it? What were they?
Snapped my ankle, my left ankle, and then blew all my deltoid out in the same ankle, and then my right knee, got my meniscus on the right knee.
Yeah.
And I had the problem on the inside of my right knee at the same time. So I had a meniscus on the outside, and then I had a problem with bone fragments on the inside of my knee. That was during propeller. You can't go. I couldn't get the recovery in the gym or with physical therapists. They just were not intense enough, and they weren't quick or direct enough, and they weren't consistent enough, and they weren't specific enough to like my movement. Just wasn't working.
Okay.
You know, so I just started. I realized that I needed to really train, like really, really, like needed to actively figure out how to get fit. How the hell am I going to do that? I'm not, you know. While you're beating yourself up skating, like going to a gym all day long, you don't skate very well. And I don't. Do you any guys go to the gym?
I work out a lot, but I just
Do
don't
you?
go to the gym. I just do my own stuff.
Like weightlifting and like all of that doesn't make you want to jump afterwards or skate afterwards. I found the same personally. You know,
I think
I
you
didn't
just got to
think
find something that works for you.
Yeah, we're all different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but me having to be active, like the 1 hour, 2 hour in the gym, like that didn't work for me. I would better outside and would do it in 4 hours, you know, like that. So once I adopted that, and that was the conscious decision. My friend started a hunting outfit in California. It's called Kika. And the deal was, you're going to start the outfit and go by yourself. Okay, I'll guide all, but you can't do it alone. You need at least one other guide to help you on hunts to get the ball rolling. And so I committed to, you know, you train me and I'll help you set up your business. And so I've guided, you know, almost all the desert sheep hunts, or a lot of them, with that with Kika since then, just as a helping hand. But that was the trade-off. Like my friend who owns the business, Jake Franklin, he's pretty much a cowboy. That was the trade-off. You teach me everything you know about outfitting and guiding and these animals that we're going to go and get with clients, and I'll be your right-hand man to it.
And how long does one of these things last? Like an
I mean,
outing?
the longest hunt we've done is over 50 straight days. It's the longest.
When you feel like
it's the
skating
longest
after that?
legal recorded hunt in California state history.
Okay, that's extreme.
We do it. Yeah, it is extreme.
How? What's an average though?
7 to 10 days.
Okay.
Would be an average hunt.
Gotcha.
And we have 100% success rate in 13 years. We never not kill. We kill everything. Everything dies.
And speaking of,
It sounds gnarly. Yeah, it sounds gnarly, dude.
Speaking of that, though, can you explain to us how like the preservation and all that stuff works, and give us a breakdown?
There's a lot to take. There's a lot to take in with it.
Right.
There is a lot to know with all of those legalities, and I don't want to be here like talking from a legal point. But in a nutshell, all the areas in the state of California are broken up into units. They have numbers on those units, so they're all, and then certain amount of animals is allocated in each of those units so they can manage them.
Okay.
Right? Like, so they can manage how many animals are taken out of each of those areas based on how many animals we know are in those areas, right? It's roughly like that. So some areas, when you apply to go hunt there, it's very easy because there's a lot of hunting opportunity in some areas, and then some other areas that maybe genetically have big animals or just are in a nice area, those are harder areas to hunt, right? So you have to apply for them.
Okay.
So we guide public land hunts. So for people like that who just apply for hunts and get them in California, we guide those. And then we lease, you've heard of Hearst Castle?
Yeah, the Hearst,
California? Hearst land.
Mm-hmm.
So Kika Outfitters, the outfit I work for, we lease all of Hearst's land.
Wow.
Which I think is the second largest privately owned ranch in California.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
Big.
Wow.
It's huge.
Fucking huge, right? Hundreds of thousands of acres. And on that property, we do tons of pig hunts, deer, elk, sambar, aoudad, a lot. So that's what our outfit does. The conservation side of the world and all of that side of it, the benefits that hunting gives and brings back in are a point of contention for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have differing opinions on the impact that it has. It's a wildlife resource from my standpoint, and it serves a huge purpose. It shows you the cycle of life. There's a lot of animals that we couldn't know if we didn't knowingly pursue them in the same ways that we hunt them. One of those is mountain lions.
Okay.
Very hard to follow them and trail them and track them without dogs. And sniff them and trail them and track them so the biologist can learn, put collars on them and learn where they go. So I just see it as a tool, a necessary tool. Whether you like it or not, hunting to me is a very positive tool to manage wild resources.
Right. But give us an example too, because you
I'll
have
give you an
those.
example.
You have
Okay.
those horns next to you. But I just want to understand how the process
Or
works.
how you could help.
Yeah,
Or
because
an example of in a way that somebody from the general public could have an impact. One way you could have an impact is, action, right? Doing something positive for that public resource. So going into an area where they're doing wild animal studies and volunteer your time. It's one way you can help.
Okay.
More people that are educated, the better our wild resource is going to be. Another way is the state. A lot of these western states, they auction off a tag to the highest bidder. A lot of those tags are very specific to particular. So when I say tag, I mean a hunting opportunity. So a ticket that says, Geoff can hunt this mule deer or this animal right here.
Mm-hmm.
They do sell what are considered to be kind of like conservation tickets, where in a lot of the western states they sell tags to the highest bidder, and whatever species that is, whoever buys it, that money goes directly into on-the-ground conservation for that particular species in the state that donated the opportunity.
Okay.
In California, you have elk tags, mule deer tags, bighorn sheep tags that you can just buy to the highest bidder.
Huh.
Those tags can raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for our public resource, right? An example of that is this. There's a couple of 100,000 a year spent on bighorn sheep management in the state of California, if you were to buy the statewide tag, that might cost you a couple of $100,000. So you've just doubled the state budget by buying one hunt.
Okay.
So this animal right here.
Yeah. This is he's picking up a
That
big
thing is
horn
big.
skull thing. Yeah.
You can see that on the camera, right?
I think they can see
yeah,
that on the
I can think
camera.
of the whole
I don't
thing
know how you
probably, yeah.
missed that
Okay,
thing.
that's a conservation hunt in the state of California.
Okay. Be careful with that.
Yeah.
Now wait, that's a model, right?
Oh,
That's a replica of the world.
replica,
That's the
okay.
world record desert bighorn sheep.
Okay.
And our outfit guided that in 2017. And the client that bought that tag spent over $200,000 for that hunt. We didn't get a penny of it. All that money goes into conservation. So just that one hunt right there doubled the budget for that particular species in the state of California that year.
And give
amazing.
us an example of what this conservation looks like. What does the money go to, though? I help me understand that.
what does conservation mean in that?
Like I said, it's a hard one, and I'm not sitting here as an authority, you know
Okay.
what I mean, on
Yeah.
it. But that was one example I can give you. If that's conservation, that's actively, you know what I mean. That particular hunt would have sold for like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 before we started our outfit. But we were finding very, very big animals, and so our clients were willing to pay more and more and more, right? But they don't pay more and more and more to us.
It goes to
To conservation.
And so they.
So we find big animals, and we get the client that will pay more money for those big animals, and then those animals benefit.
and the
It's the
conservation.
same thing, right? If one animal died, that's a 200-pound animal, right? 250-pound animal.
Yeah.
It's like not much meat on them, right? But $200,000 went into that particular species in the whole state of California that year.
That's government run.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's.
and it has to that particular hunt. That's the best way you can help that public resource, because every single penny of that has to go into on-the-ground conservation. That's a transparent budget. So when that client pays the state of California, or pays whoever donates that tag $200,000, all of us can see that money online and know where it gets spent.
Okay.
So it can't be hidden. Politician can't steal it,
That's beautiful.
right? So that's one way you can help. You know, other ways, like I said, is helping and volunteering for a conservation organization.
So the money goes directly towards preserving these animals.
For that particular one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's what the best example I can give you of, well, our efforts on the ground that cost us money that we don't get paid for. We found bigger animals and got clients to pay more and more money, and that money goes directly into conservation. So that's
Right.
one way we can help. But I do what we can. I mean, we only have so much limited free time, but I do help on other conservation projects. You know, I've helped reintroduce bighorn sheep into Utah. We did that during COVID. During COVID, I shot a buffalo and donated the meat to school kids, because it was a Indian reservation in the north, one of the poorest Indian reservations up north. And I got the opportunity to donate about 800 pounds of meat to school kids.
Wow.
You know, it's not anything. You don't see it. But those are things that we do because the opportunity comes up and you can help people.
Right.
Or help an animal or help a resource. So I do what I can.
Yeah.
You know?
I think if it came down to I needed to survive, I could do it. But I just out of I can't, it's hard. I can't hurt
You'd come out with
animals.
me.
I can't. No, Jeff. I
I don't
can't.
know. I mean, there's- it's not
I'm
for everybody.
It's not for everybody, right?
True.
Very
And
true.
Fishing is another thing. I don't know why fishing's okay. I can catch
Fishing's
a fish.
okay.
I can catch a fish, but I can't shoot something.
That's okay.
man. It's not.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's okay.
It's
If it
more
comes down
it's
to
like
it.
if you're shooting something versus like catching a fish, it's like night and day. It's not the same.
I know,
I don't
it's
look
a-
at it the same. But especially if you're catching and
I don't have
releasing.
feelings for those fish. I
I'll
don't
tell
know
you
why.
what, during COVID, the amount of people in our industry that call me up asking me questions about firearms and about how to hunt and about
Right.
those.
Well, if
a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if shit hits the fan, I'm coming to you, Jeff. We are going
Might
to.
be too late at this point.
But you also have these the Civilware, right? We got. Let's bring this up real quick. We have.
That's my dog, Bo, right there.
That's Bo.
Bo.
Bo looks like he's having a.
Does he
great
help you when you
life.
go out?
He's not a hunting dog. He's trained one, but he's young. right? He's actually going to go back and do some tests to get his certificate, his like hunting certificate, but he's not a hunting dog.
Oh, okay.
okay.
He's like he's family, but he's really he's trained like a hunting dog.
So give us a breakdown of Civilware. We
Yeah.
have talked about it before, but I think a lot of has
Knives, tools, outdoor gear. Kind of took a little bit of didn't really do much with it all of last year because last year was just carnage.
Okay.
Right, everywhere. Vans was having some troubles, and I needed to stay focused on the wheelhouse.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just jumping back into this again now, and about to kind of relaunch a load of new knives and some apparel and hats and all kinds of gear in the next month or two. So I'm going to start kind of ramping it up a little bit again. More. I really enjoy doing this. I mean, I've always loved product.
Yeah.
I always loved products and hard goods. I enjoy over soft goods somewhat. So yeah, I've been doing it for like 10 years, and it's done okay. It was doing good, and then COVID dang well happened, didn't it? I had a little retail store, and like things were starting to do good, and it was starting to like get in a really strong position. And then COVID happened, and what am I going to do? I got to store, and I have to turn into an office for 3 years.
Where was the brick and mortar? Where was
in
it?
Costa Mesa.
Oh,
In Costa Mesa, and so it's a brand. They
Sure.
don't define you; it's just a freaking brand. But I love doing it, and stoked on the quality of the knives and everything we're
They
making.
look beautiful, man. I'm
They're
not a
awesome.
knife person, but
I'll
I
send you guys some.
please do.
I was going to
opened
bring, but I didn't. I've been in the UK for the last 5 weeks. I've been in England, North England, for the last 5 weeks. So I've only just got back to California. But I'll send some of these down for you.
Please do, man. I open my Amazon packages with these things, man. I need that.
Yeah. No, they're fun. They're good folders for sure.
They look really well made. Like really, did you spend a lot of time kind of developing these things?
Yeah, every one of them's got a different locking mechanism. Every one of them, none of them are the same knife. So they're all different. They're all built differently. This is a liner lock, so it locks from the inside. Right.
What do you mean? Like this little where?
You'd have to show another picture.
Oh, okay.
You can kind of see it there. It's hard for me to explain. Yeah, it's kind of there.
Okay.
But it locks there, right?
Gotcha.
So behind the liner, so behind the handle.
Oh.
But
it's beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
it
it's
looks
really nice.
really, really
thanks.
nice.
Yeah. I mean, you can't make cheap tools and expect them to perform.
Yeah.
It's all about the materials with knives. Like skateboards, the same thing. It's what you put together what makes it what it is.
Right.
That's a skinning knife. That's a scalpel, so that blade actually comes off. You can take the razor blades off those. Those are for skinning animals.
Oh, can you buy just the blade and
You
then
can buy the
replace
razor
it?
blades, and
Oh.
Replace
So
it.
if you were a surgeon, you could use that just the same as well.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Or some people just like razor blade knives. Some people just like them for even to open up boxes and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's right. Yeah, I need that.
I don't really fuck with knives at all, dude. I'm too scared around that shit.
Now, is your family like into this
Ah,
type of?
My dad
lifestyle?
was a printer.
Okay.
Do you remember? My dad was a printer, so like the printing process, like the 4-color printing process, growing up, I always saw that, like the big, huge, like printing machines. So I think process, like that, like step of 1, 2, 3, 4, then it's finished. And if you get step 2 wrong, and you got to go back again. I think I grew up with that unknowingly, which is why I like product. I like to visualize where it could be and try to get it there, and sometimes you just have to let it be where it's going to be, right? And then other times you might want to fix it. But I think I got a lot of that from my dad, and that work ethic from my dad for sure. He's still the same, he's a very consistent worker.
So when you were speaking of, keeping in shape, the gym wasn't working out for you, and going on these hunts and these, what do you call it? Is it called a hunt or a?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. That really helped you through injuries and to get back on your board, or you just felt like just being in nature for so long and working out, you just wanted to get back on your board?
I couldn't recover.
That
I couldn't
was it.
recover. Like,
Oh.
like I said, I started a film for like the propeller video. And then just before that, like for the few years before that, I was having that point where you hit a wall physically, during you're filming and you go, I'm hitting this wall when I'm skating, and it was physical. You don't realize it was like something, my body wasn't really working good. I remember going to see like some chiropractors and going, what's wrong with me? Like, why, your body's changing. Like, what's wrong with me? I don't feel right. And so I knew something needed to change. Like, I think you get that I don't know, I was blessed with like good genes from my mom and dad, I guess, but you hit a point where you need to work on it physically, and I didn't know where to begin, because I'd done all the physical therapy with like years before that, all through my 20s into 30, getting a bunch of other surgeries and trying to recover through all of that. You just hit that point where I'm like, this just doesn't work for me the same way anymore, you know? And so I knew that I needed to pursue the outdoors. I knew it. Like, and I was calling friends of mine who were already in that industry and going, what should I do? Like, asking them, I'm like, I know I need to jump in. I don't know where to jump in. I need to jump in. I have to make that conscious decision now. You know, I knew that if I didn't, I was lying to myself, and I knew that if I didn't, I was going to regret it, and I knew if I didn't, I was making a fucking big mistake.
Huh.
So what's the difference? What's the difference as far as like the training that you do through, you know, your
hunting
through hunting?
Yeah,
versus,
I guide, right? So I guide hunts.
Yeah.
I hunt for myself, right? So I hunt alone or with friends of mine. And it can be physically nothing or physically a lot as well. So I have my own personal hunting that can keep me somewhat in shape as well. I also volunteer for the California Game and Fish Department for the last 2 years in the whole of the San Bernardino Mountains and the San Gabriel Mountains, all of the conflict. So the lions and bears that go into the city, I go and help them get them out of trees and do all that shit.
Oh, wow.
Right, so I try to constantly keep myself physically active in that space. But to answer your actual question, which was what is the difference? What are you doing? Kind of
versus
thing.
like going to like the gym or something.
Yeah.
Using a step master.
Muscle memory, stamina, breathing with strength, breathing with upper and lower body strength, different elevations, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Constantly
but
moving,
I mean,
right?
I walk most days. If I'm home, which I'm home a lot, 4 to 6 miles a day on average, but not just flat, up and down, up and down. When I'm guiding, 7 to 14 miles a day. You go up and down 3,000 feet. You do that for 30 straight days. That's physical. So you do that for 100 days in a season. It's very physical.
Right.
And so that's what I do. Right. So we might have one sheep hunt. We might have 10 sheep hunts. And they might be all back to back. And every single day that I wake up and I walk out, I'm going up a mountain. From the bottom up to the top, or I'm sleeping on the top and coming back down for resources and going back up. It's very physical, and what I noticed is my upper body strength from carrying a pack and posture, my breathing and my lungs opened up. And at the end of I'm not a very big guy, and my body doesn't change that much. But in January and February, if you were to look at me in January, February versus like June, you'd see a big difference. Like my shoulders and all behind my body right here. Keeps your lungs and your body straight and up. The biggest thing I got from it is posture, breathing, muscle memory, stamina. You cannot get that adjustable on the fly training in gym like that. It's different.
You got to be on the field.
But it's also I'm walking, climbing, and hiking the majority and carrying the majority of the time. That's it. At the end of the season, my hands are beaten to death, just bleeding from all the dust and carrying everything. But a lot of walking, a lot of hiking, a lot of climbing. So more upper body than I ever did in my life, more utilizing my hands and arms and everything, and more balance in my breathing. And that pays dividends on these 40, 60-foot banks, which is what they are. They're like 40 to 60-foot banks. That, to me now, when I look at like those banks and I ride them and run up and down them, as I run up them, I imagine it being a mountain. And they're so little. When you imagine it, they're so little. When you look at it, you go,
I've done
60 feet. And like 60 feet, fuck.
Yeah.
3,000 feet. Like, so if that, illustrates.
sense.
When we were at Street League, me and Chris just talked about this.
Oh,
We looked out in the parking lot, and it was in Salt Lake City, and we see you with your backpack just going off into nowhere. Like it was going into a mountain. And I'm like, dude, I don't. Yeah. Well,
just across the parking lot.
across
You
the
were probably
parking lot.
walking to the hotel or
Yeah,
something.
but you had this big backpack on it, and you were walking towards a mountain, and we're like, wow.
Like he's about to go up
he's about
that
to go-
mountain right now.
But like
I
that's
might.
what it's like. You just have a backpack, and you're hiking up things.
I have my pack in my car. I could have brought it in so you could see. Yeah.
But you pack the essentials, right?
Yeah, everybody has like what they deem essentials, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, these like 30, 40 pound packs, or like how?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, about that. I mean, when you're carrying nothing, that's what it's like, right? So bare minimum, and every single thing needs to have a purpose, right? So we have satellite radios, satellite phones, and things like that, like because it's no joke, and we have a problem every single year. We have an issue up on the mountain somewhere.
Like
somebody blacking out. Somebody getting kicked in their freaking kidneys by a horse at like 13,000 feet, thinking they're going to die.
What the hell?
People falling off horses and having to be airlifted out. That happened 2 month and a half ago. It's gnarly. Like, we do very physical hunts for some of the biggest animals and the biggest game in the western US. So it depends on which hunt we're talking about. But yeah, they're very gnarly. Like, I mean, in the Sierras, you have 7 peaks over 14,000 feet, right? If you're going up to Mammoth, on your left-hand side in the Sierra Nevadas, there's 7 peaks over 14,000 feet. On the right side, you have White Mountain Peak, which is 13,000 feet. We guide desert sheep at 13,000 feet, right? Like, that's a high elevation, right?
Higher than a 60-foot bank, I'll tell you
that. And it takes you a day to get up there, right? And then when you're up there, if you get kicked in the nads by a horse or kicked in the kidneys, which happened to my partner, and he called me in the middle of the night saying, what does it feel like when you're bleeding inside? I think I'm going to die. Like, I'm pretty sure that I'm bleeding badly inside right now. And he was, you know.
Why are you so close to the animal getting kicked?
It's a horse.
I'm just saying problemes happen. Like, things happen
random,
when you, not necessarily.
It wasn't like a bull or anything.
Well, dude, I don't know. Like, you
when you're remote like that, like anything that happens is a problem because you're remote, right? You know, and so we have a lot of that happen, and a lot of breakdowns of the vehicles, a lot of horse wrecks, and a lot of clients messing up, or we have to mind screw the clients to get them up and down the mountains and things like that.
Well, I mean, what's like the craziest thing that's happened to you?
I jumped over, the last craziest thing that happened to me 6 weeks ago, and somebody was airlifted from falling off a horse. A couple of days after that, I was hunting pigs in the Central Coast there, and I was with somebody, and they'd shot at a pig, missed it, or we weren't sure they'd missed it. We were trailing it, and we'd split up. And I trailed it one way, and they trailed it another way around this ridge line through grass. Well, the pig was right there in front of me. Like, I trailed it around, but it was in the grass on the trail in front of me, 6 foot ahead of me, on the low like that, straight facing me, 6 foot away. And with no warning, nothing, it just stood up and ran right at my feet. And it was probably a 250, 300 pound sow, so female, big, good size. And I jumped. I couldn't shoulder the rifle, shot at the pig, missed the pig because it was below me, and then it was a vertical incline, so I rolled down the whole vertical incline with the pig rolling on me. He didn't land on me, but he was rolling next to me. We were both rolling down the hillside. And a second I remember mid-air, my knife flew in the air. Like, mid-air as I was rolling down, the whole time I'm like, how can I rack while I'm rolling down the hill? How can I rack the next round and to shoot this thing? Although, because the second that I stop rolling, he's going to be gouging the shit out of me and try to kill me. And so I racked it the second I got it and shot him. And then we went and trailed her, and we got her. But that was the last kind of sketchy.
This is like a normal.
That was a good one. That, and nobody saw it, and I was so bummed. I'm like, man, I wish you guys saw that. You would have just saw the fucking coolest thing.
That's how it starts, dude.
These are normal pigs. This isn't like a Charlotte's Web. This is like a big boar.
That's not the only time that's happened, but to illustrate, I don't know. I like the thrill.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell. On the board, off the board, I think you are just a thrill seeker.
I'm pretty mellow though, really.
You are actually pretty mellow.
Yeah,
sitting here. But listen. You're living life. You're doing what you love to do. I think that's admirable, man.
Yeah.
I wish we all could do that.
If we wanted to all go on like a hunt for like 7 to 10 days, how much would something like that cost?
Well, it depends what the species was. Let's say if you wanted to come on a pig hunt for 3 days, $12,500 for 4 people, shoot as many pigs as you want, something like that.
Jesus.
And that covers everything.
But yeah, like buying the hunts in California is a different thing because you can't really, like I have no hunting opportunity unless it's on private land, right? The public land, you have to apply for your hunt. If you get the tag, I can guide you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if you wanted to hunt a deer and Jaron said, Geoff, I want to learn to hunt, then I would help you get your permit application in. And if you drew the tag, which you probably would for a deer, I would just take you out.
Okay.
And try to make that happen.
Right.
If you were to call me and say that.
Right.
Like, so that's how I would do it with people in skate. Anyone who any skaters that are there, that they ask for help, or anyone, I'm always willing to help.
Right.
You know, and I've had quite a lot of people in the last year in skate ask that they want to hunt. You know, Hassoy's son.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and some other people as well.
That's super shit.
I probably should mention. But yeah, there's a lot of interest in it. It's a cycle of life, man. And like I was vegetarian for many years. It's the cycle of life, and whatever you think about it, it's still happening.
It's a whole other world for me, man. I know nothing about it. It's interesting though. Yeah, I like to learn about things.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the skateboarding though, if you don't mind, man.
Yeah.
Because like I'm so. Are you and Ed gonna go out for a little skate or something? I'd be rad to see a little edit between you guys, man, or a little something.
Yeah, he doesn't skate that much, right?
Yeah,
It busted his neck up
that.
pretty bad and everything. It blew his leg out pretty bad, but whatever. We can go skate anytime.
It'd be cool to see you guys out on a
know?
session though. That's all I'm
Super dope.
saying. Yeah.
We will.
It'd be cool to see Ed come here.
Yeah.
You know, I was been away for 5 weeks. I'm so very sorry, viewers, but I had a nice plan, but it didn't quite work.
We had,
I wanted Ed. Do you not know him being here? And then I
yeah.
could have just brought him in for like half an hour.
That would have been
and
great.
could have just rapped on it, and then he gone. So maybe we can do that off-site.
That would be
sometime.
yes.
That'd be amazing.
Yes.
But,
we've been trying to get Ed on the show for a long time.
He says no.
You know, it's skating. Sometimes it's not the right time. People
Put
it's all
your
about
foot down. Ed, you got to be Ed Templeton. You need to be on the 9 Club.
Come on, Ed.
You need to come on to the 9 Club and tell all of those stories.
I'm telling
Not
you.
those ones, the other ones.
The appropriate. one.
You know what we found out with this show? It's all about timing. You know, it's timing. Sometimes it's just that it's not the right time, and when it is the right time and it happens, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And that's the right time.
Well, it's been 5 years since I've been on it, but we'd spoke quite a few times, right?
Sure.
Hadn't we recently? And
Yep.
like I said, in growing up, 1 year was crazy, and skating wasn't. Picture the videos that came out 1 year. So 5 year, I am thankful, right?
Yeah.
We should keep talking and have this, right? Like, so I would freaking tell anybody to come on the show, get your stories out, lay them out, because if you don't tell them, nobody knows that they even happened.
Exactly.
And Ed's got some good ones. I could prep your.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are
I'd prep you on
nervous.
some Musker,
Yeah.
Ed stories. That'd be
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are nervous though when they come on here. You know what I mean? It's just like a natural thing. Skateboarders, I don't feel like are used to talking about themselves. We just had Braden on the other day, and he was like, I don't think I've ever talked about myself for this long.
Well, he's a young kid too, 23,
but true.
so, you know,
Imagine like
yeah.
a person that's been through it all, you know? So
Totally.
I understand. But
Yeah, our interviews is somebody calling us up from the mag, and you talk to them, and then it's in print, right?
Who do you want to get on the show that you haven't had on here? Who have you been trying the whole time? Who's
Dude,
just
there's so many.
there's
dude.
a lot of
there?
insane amount.
Guy Mariano, Eric Costin, Mark Gonzalez,
Josh Kalis,
Josh Kalis,
Anthony Van England,
Van England,
Ed Templeton, Eric Ellington,
God, there's a lot.
Atiba.
Yeah.
The list. I
We're
mean,
just scratching the
goes
surface,
on and
bro. That's
on
just
and on.
there's so
scratching the
many, and people
Rodney Mullen.
people think that we are just like
We can snap our
we don't
fingers.
like, dude. It's a two-way road here. It's got to meet, and we got to work together on the show.
Yeah.
But that's the thing
So-
about it. Like I said before, it's timing. 8 years of doing this, we just know it's timing. You know,
Alyssa
when
Steamer,
we keep asking people.
Dude,
yeah,
like
go
so
on.
many. There's so many
I
to
want
go
Buster
down.
Halterman. You already know.
Buster Halterman.
Yeah.
It sounds like a boxer, man. I've said that before.
he was a ripper, great
Bro,
leg tricks.
you already know.
My goodness,
So rad.
sugar canes all day.
Ugh.
Do you ever see the nose blunt slide tail grab he did on Vert?
Mm-hmm.
In that Planet Earth video, that's still in my mind. It goes, I want to do it like that, because he never put his wheels down, just slid the nose,
Yeah.
never touched the wheels.
Oh wow!
No way.
Incredible.
Yeah, he goes over like that to do like a nose grind tail grab, goes into nose blunt and just pull. So it's like a poke, pokes in like that. always wanted to do that.
I bring up his name time to time, and like, you know, it's a very unique name.
Yeah.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And Chris, you know, he's like Buster Halterman. That sounds like a boxer or something.
Yeah, it sounds. Isn't it a
know.
boxer name? Oh, Buster Halterman coming in the ring. You
But
know?
he's a legendary guy that doesn't get enough credit.
Incredible style too. Incredible style. You had Jeremy Ray recently too, right?
Ray's great. We've had him on a couple times.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about how do you, we talked about contests earlier and everything. Have you been following the Olympics? Have you, we had one 4 years ago, and now we're just on the cusp of this last one, 2024. Are you watching it? Are you following along? How do you feel about it?
I've been in Paris twice recently while the whole thing was going on, while the California skate parks were building the whole course and everything. I was out there with Van Doren, with Vans for some stuff, and then there was I was out there on a family thing, but also there was an AVE shoe launch thing in Paris. So I got to see kind of all that carnage, and I don't know, it's not for me.
You did a release too. A year ago, though.
Oh yeah, we did our Dime Paris,
yeah, that's right.
Dime and Vans shoe release in Paris too. So I've been there quite a bit last year. It's not for me. The Olympics means nothing to me. It means nothing to. I'm sorry, Olympics, but it means nothing to me.
How do you think?
Absolutely nothing. It has not done one thing for my skateboarding. It has not motivated me in any way, shape, or form to do it. If I was a young kid, I don't even know if it would have helped with participation, whether I'd even have picked the board up watching it. I don't know. It shows no lifestyle, no culture.
Yep.
It's not for me. I don't really have anything much to say in it, but you asked me the question.
Thank you for speaking your truth, bro.
Have I watched any of it? No. Do I turn the television on and watch Paddy the Baddy fight the other night? UFC? Yeah, I did. And I saw the Olympics were all over it. But no, I haven't really watched it. I watched a couple of single tricks on there. I saw that Yuto
won the
gold. And I was stoked he did it. Smile on his face. Great personality, just awesome dude. I'm glad that a guy like that won.
True street skater as well.
Just from what I know of him, just a really nice, humble, talented kid with a nice smile, and that's enough for me. So I was stoked that somebody like that won it.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. There's so much to skateboarding that a place like the Olympics can capitalize on telling the story of skate, but it's they don't do it. Think about it.
When they leave,
they don't care.
When they leave, what did they leave behind?
The skateboarder or the Olympics?
The Olympics.
Oh,
so everywhere they go,
an empty stadium.
The Olympics are going to love me. Everywhere they go, what do they leave behind? Like when they leave Paris, there's going to be an immeasurable amount of kids picking up skateboards in Paris because they donated 5,000 complete skateboards to all the local schools. Right? So what I see is advertising money, lots of advertising money going into somebody's pocket.
Big money grab.
And I don't see any of the athletes making any money.
No.
So
unless they win a medal maybe and they get an endorsement.
Yeah, they get an endorsement.
Right. I don't know.
On their own merit.
Sure.
Right? So I don't know. I don't know. I've thought about it recently a little, and I'm like Tony Alva said it right. We don't really need it. They need us, but we don't really need it. So that's how I feel about it. Yeah. It means nothing to me.
I think for a while, a lot of people were like, "Whoa, that's cool. It could be there." And now that it's there, you're like, "Oh, okay, that wasn't as cool as we thought."
Well, also, skateboarding, we're in a downward dip right now. We could see that with the companies and all the shoe stuff. But is it really going to, bring us back up?
I don't know.
Does you feel like
I think the kids will bring us back up in the next generation?
Someone asked me a question the other day. Do you think a lot of kids are skating? And I'm like, well, I think now they have more options. It used to be like, yes, skateboarding and rollerblading or something. Now it's like they have these bikes that all the kids are riding.
The electric ones.
Yeah, I see so many kids going around that. There's a lot of things to choose from now. Yeah. Back then, skateboarding and those little sports and surfing were like only it.
And you got social media to kind of tell you what's cool and what's not cool at the moment. Like the Saran thing, the electric bikes, like that's everywhere now, So everybody wants those, maybe, It's an interesting place we're in.
It is. Well, what do we do to help that, though? I hear that word of like participation being the thing that we could help with. Where does that begin? Industry. Fix that one.
Yeah, I feel like the industry's with social media now, everything's so spread out. That's where I feel like skateboarding didn't take a dump. It's just so spread out, all these different areas that it used to all be one place. Now it's just all over.
I think you nailed it with options. You know, I think you nailed it with that because. I mean, man, imagine being a kid right now. Lunatics. Oh my God. I can only imagine.
Are your kids into like random stuff too, or like?
Yeah, I got two kids. I got a 9-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old boy, and they're into everything, a little bit of everything. Like my son skates around, but he doesn't care about it. You know what I mean? He's does a bit of everything, like you said, kind of thing. I think not kind of stuck on one. Same with my daughter. My daughter's kind of a crazy painter, artist, kind of. Hangs out in the garage all day long, just painting and creating, and she's wild. Sick. She is wild. She's going to be a storm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she is. She freaking makes little models and everything.
Oh, wow. That's rad. I was just watching a bunch of Bob Ross YouTube videos. They're great. Amazing guy.
Legend, doesn't he?
Legend.
He really is.
Yeah. He got screwed. His whole the state. You know the Bob Ross story?
I don't really know the story, but I watch it. I watch it. I'm mesmerized, and I'd like to paint like that.
Oh man, the people that he was in business. You got to watch the documentary on that. It's bad. They were greedy. They did a bunch. They were trying to take over his estate. Bad. Bob Ross, though, legend. Maybe you want to start painting. That's how.
You should start.
I should.
Yeah. You should start, Chris.
What else is going on? What do we got for the future? What are we doing? You know, I mean, Toy Machine. We got the video. Right, you're going to start. We're already filming for that.
Yeah, I'm filming. Just
do we have a timeline?
Do
you have a date? A hard cutoff? What are we working with, Jeff?
We're real early in the game this time.
Okay, we're not a year, 2 years, 3. I mean, what are we?
As soon as I can.
Okay,
you know what I mean. I'll just start film. Like I said, I already started filming, and I'll just kind of keep filming, and we'll see. You know how that goes, but like I usually film more in the winter, so I'll probably film more coming up now than I have in the last couple of months. Same way.
Toy Machine part, Thrasher
Toy Machine part, like
okay.
a ton of stuff going on with Yeti with them too. We're doing like a video with Yeti kind of thing with another mag, Thrasher. We're doing Thrasher trip. Next week. So probably when this goes live, we'll be doing that. But yeah, just being a skateboarder, professional skateboarder, trying to do the best I can, be the best I can, stay in one shape, and try to keep this going. And I don't know what you think I should do. Quit?
No,
we don't want to. Dude, your legacy, man, is
it's like, but it is a little groundhoggy though. If you spend your whole life doing the same shit, just filming and filming and filming and filming and filming. This is a little different. Like the last video part was like very personal. Like all the flip videos were flip videos. They were just getting gnarly, going for it. And the Vans videos that we made, I wanted to put something behind that relationship because there was no video parts, right? So I've got 3 of them in there. So I have 3 flip video parts, 3 Vans video parts, and then the Freedom part after that. So I am very motivated to film a part for Toy Machine because I might die tomorrow. So I'd rather try to get as much as I can going now. I'm very motivated to film a part, for that as soon as I can, and.
Because you got nothing to prove. You've proved it all, And I feel like nowadays, for me personally, and maybe our generation, I just want to see Geoff Rowley out there skateboarding and having fun and just killing it for himself.
I do have fun every time. That's just the way I skate. I can't. I don't think I'm a very aggressive person, really. But my skating is edgy like that. That's how I skate. It's not. I don't know another way to explain it. I can't skate any other way, and if I do, I'm really bad. If I try
that's why it's good fun to watch you, dude, because you're getting something very authentic.
But when someone says, I just want to see you ride, I mean, I just want to see you skate. I want to see you just skate down the road, too. Right? But people say that all the time. I just want to see you skate. Even my sponsors and everyone, if you want to know what it's like, kids, having sponsors and shit like that, it's every day. They want fucking blood out of you. I want blood out of me on that. But
not just only see. Sorry, real quick. Not only just want to see you skate, but like I want to see you ripping. But also just, sometimes skating. The energy doesn't come through the screen, right? It's just kind of skateboarding. It's a standard issue, but I want to see Geoff Rowley that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I want to see gnarly shit.
You want to see me paint the streets though at the same time?
I want to paint them red, man.
Dude. I was gonna ask the skater of the year. What year was that? You got skater of the year?
2000.
2000. So back then, when that was like flip days, probably. I'm assuming. Were you working for something like that to get skater of the year, or back then was it just because people now are like literally like, hey, I want to go for skater of the year this year. back then it just worked out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the whole way along. I don't know with that. You have guys who I want to shoot this. It's a cover. Will you shoot it for a cover? I don't know. If it's that fucking gnarly, it's probably going to be on the cover.
Yeah.
You can think about that later.
Yeah.
So, like, I was always like secondary. Do you know what I mean to that? Of like the skating, you don't do it for that reason and those. But yeah, I mean, Phelps called me on that, and I remember thinking he was lying, like just fucking with me or something. And that's the truth of it, you know. I didn't think I was worthy, and I didn't think I could step up to it.
I wonder what point that changed.
That's as a kid, or I don't know, so word for not lack of confidence, but your insecurities. I couldn't get that out. Your insecurities, and that you don't know if you're like good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it's never good enough. Kinda, it is, but
it's a typical skateboarder way of thinking.
It's just a drive, though. Yeah. I don't mean like I'm never satisfied. I don't mean it like that. I just mean, you have to have that to keep going after it a little bit. So I feel like that, and that's the bit I like to keep kind of protected a little bit, right? Because that's your passion and your drive. If you bend those things for a company or anyone or anything, it might not work out. That part of it might not work out for you, and that's the side of it I've always, tried to protect, is my skating more than anything. Like, you could never offer me enough money in the world to change that. Like, it just doesn't. It's just a point,
Right.
I don't know.
It's so interesting, yeah.
Don Brown offered me a load of money to try to change that a couple of times.
What are we talking?
But it didn't.
What are we talking?
It didn't work.
Oh, man. Man. So we got the shoe that's coming out. Can you just we did touch on it, but it's a limited release on those white shoes.
Those are
I need to get my hands on
the,
those, man. Is that?
Those are like a limited release I'm going to do just on my own website.
Oh, you are?
Oh, sick.
With a board with them, a 25-year board that's...
Oh.
So,
I didn't realize that. I thought it was okay, so you're going to do your own...
dude,
okay.
we did this kind of same style with Muska for his S release, dude, and he did a lot of it on his own, and it was really rad to support that pro that we all grew up watching. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. I wanted to make a board. I wanted to make a board with the... my first Vans ad, the 50/50 at the Staples Center, the Dan Sturt photo. I wanted to make a board with that on there this year. As 25 years of Vans, I thought just make a few of them, literally a handful of them, because it's not a toy machine thing, not anything. It's like a collector's thing, and so I just wanted to do that shoe with it. So it's a board and a shoe kind of little drop that's coming up in the next couple of months.
What, like 50 pair or something? Like
100 pairs.
100
pairs? 100 boards as well?
100 boards.
100 boards.
And 100
so you could buy a
pairs of
pair of shoes, you get the board as well, autographed?
I'm not sure whether we're going to do them together or separately or however, whatever's the simplest, easiest way for people to get them. You know what I mean?
Do you still talk to Sturt?
Sturt called me yesterday twice and I didn't answer the call because I was on another call.
Okay.
Yeah, I do still talk to Dan. I haven't spoke to him in maybe 6 months, and he's really been on my mind. I've been thinking about him a lot, and I hope he's doing well.
Oh,
I love him.
You got to call him on the way home.
I'm gonna call him on the way home for sure. But he's the best.
Because you used to shoot with him. You guys got covers together. You guys, a lot of stuff, right?
Given the opportunity, I would shoot with Daniel Harold Sturt every single day.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah,
what was the process of going skating with that dude?
It's insane.
Give us a little insight. Tell us an average day with Sturt.
Okay, first time I ever shot with Dan Sturt, I was in Redondo Beach, and I was doing a trick off a roof over a bar to like this flat ground, so like a 8-foot drop over like a rail. And I was on the roof. I didn't even know him. I'd met him once before that. Met him in the parking lot. I'm getting on the roof, and I started to try the trick. I hadn't even made the trick yet. I looked down and he's gone. He'd gone. He'd already left. That was the first time I ever shot with him.
You didn't even know if he got it as a photo or anything.
Oh, he got it and left?
I got it and left, so I just skated around Redondo Beach for the rest of the day with my friend Liam and my friend Luke McCurdy.
But this is before digital, right? So he just was straight film.
Straight film. He shot 5 frames. And I hadn't rolled away. I was landing, and the impact was heavy, so I was landing and kind of falling off. I was just trying to make it, and later that afternoon, I went home to Huntington Beach. This was pager time before cell phones or anything. I had a brown pager. And I got back home, and there was a voicemail on my home phone. So I clicked the phone, and it was Dan Sturt. Geoff, you're probably fucking wondering whether that picture turned out. Turned out great. Bang. Hung up on me. He always likes to hang up on you mid-conversation. Yep. And he'll just hang up on you. Every single time. He just hangs up on you every single time. It's rad.
Yeah, it's rad.
Yeah, so what he'd done, this is the trippy part, and photographers will understand this, Grant Britton Swift, those guys will get this. He was coming through Camp Pendleton on the way back down to San Diego, and he had a freak out, like, what if I didn't get the picture? Shit, fuck, what if I didn't get it? So he pulled over and processed it in a bag here and had a look at the neg.
Wow.
In the car on the way home. That's
incredible. Had to know.
Yeah. He's the best.
He always wants to shoot gnarly. I mean, when you're calling Sturt, you're calling him for the gnarliest tricks. He doesn't want to shoot crooked.
He might not shoot it.
Right.
He might show up and go, I'm not shooting that, and leave. But he probably won't even show up. The last time I tried to get him to shoot a photo, he sent me a drawing of how to shoot the photo and what time of the day.
No, he didn't.
And a full email drawing of what time to shoot the photo, where to stand with the photo, and what it will look like.
Wow.
No joke.
Is this for someone else to shoot it for you?
Yeah, it's like, I'm not shooting it, but if whoever shoots it, this is how they should shoot it. Show them this.
This guy is like...
That's legendary
shit. I never went to the spot. I took Kyle Walker to the spot with a Costa, and Kyle Walker kickflipped over it. There you go. It was in one of his video parts.
He's such a
he bummed me out. He's like, fuck. Well, I'm not skating it then if you won't shoot it. Someone else will skate it.
You hear so many stories.
It's endless.
Of Sturt just...
Well, it's funny to hear...
and just the way that he was is so fascinating, man.
It's funny, like, you hear him just leaving, but you'd always see him in the background just running out of the screen. I'm always wondering now, did he just run away back home? Like, what is...
He doesn't want you to see him shooting the picture. So as soon as, like, he's pushed the button, he's going to get the fuck out of there and get away. So if he's in the background and someone's trying to film a trick and he's shooting a picture of that person doing the trick, the second he does this, he's going to move and go wherever he wants. Sometimes he'll walk up the stairs as you're coming down the rail and stuff like that. No joke. Another time I shot with him.
That makes me notice him even more.
A really mad one is right round the corner from here. I think is it Venice High? I did a trick in an old flip video. I did a frontside board slide, and I had to really turn out. It was on the top of the bleachers. It was a trick off the top of the bleachers in a school. Anyway, it was a frontside board, and as it goes, it's a full 90 degree. So you're ollie on the rail, and you're going to fall over the rail, and you've got 14 stairs kind of behind.
Wait, is it at Santa Monica City College, maybe?
Yeah, it's the City College.
Yeah, that's what I remember that.
You remember that on the side there?
Yeah.
That one, he put like a trash can right in the middle of like where you'd fall off right onto the trash can. He'd do weird shit like that all the time, or he'd see me land and almost make a trick, and he'd walk over to me, look right at me, pick a rock off the ground, and right where my wheels went, he'd put the rock right where my wheels went, right, off you go. And so he'd like make me do it again with the rock that's there. And so to piss him off, I would leave the rocks and shit there. Yeah.
Well, why? Why?
Does he want you to move the rock?
That particular time, he put a trash can there because he said that now you won't fall in there. Now you won't go there because I put a trash can there. You can see it.
So now you can avoid it.
Now you can avoid it.
Okay.
Did he mentally mess with you? Like did it bother you?
No, it didn't. But I liked it. I like it. Like only because it's him. I don't know. I for whatever reason, I really like Dan. I get on really well with him, but he's not easy to be around for some people. But neither am I. You know, I don't know. But more importantly, like growing up, like I idolized the guys that he shot. Right. And he shot like pictures that when I was growing up are like all of the Airwalk ads, you know, all the like Pat Duffy Airwalk ads and Chris Markovich Airwalk ads, and you know, all of those, the Tony Hawk, Danny Way, like he shot those guys. And so Matt Hensley, all the famous Hensley photos. So I didn't need him to act anything other than as long as he pushes the button, he's going to get the photo. Only one time he messed up and didn't get the photo. He's like, I didn't get the photo. Did not get the photo. I'm like, fuck.
No.
Yeah. And then one other time he didn't get the photo, but that was way worse. he was shooting a picture of Tony Hawk going. But have you ever seen that footage of Tony? It was an old audio ad doing a Japan over to downtown LA buildings, right? Like skyscrapers, downtown LA. Tony Hawk did a Japan. I think the gap was probably like, I don't know, 12 to 16 feet gap, and he did Japan over these roofs. And it was one of them ones, one of Tony's like big commercial videos. It was probably on TV or something.
Sure,
like that.
okay.
Well, Sturt was supposed to shoot the photo. That's the only photo that he didn't get.
Do you know why?
Yeah, Tony went when he was like moving around too much. And he was freaked out. And he's probably going to be so angry I tell these stories. And he called me, and he's like, dude, you're not going to believe what the fuck I just did. I just missed it. I missed the photo. No. Tony came down the elevator to the bottom with, Dan, did you get the photo, Dan? No, Dan didn't get the photo.
I'm surprised he didn't leave.
Couldn't do it again.
Damn.
So,
people make mistakes, but damn it. Yeah.
But there was a legendary story of him shooting that Danny Way. He like snuck on to the thing, yeah?
Yeah, probably, allegedly.
No, I think people have told this.
Pretty rad story though, trying to get one on top of Transworld.
Yeah.
Do you know the whole story?
No.
Oh, you haven't heard the story?
No.
Where Danny Way was doing it over, what was it, over the plains or something?
I think Danny was jumping out of a helicopter into the vert ramp.
That could have been it,
right?
Yeah.
And Transworld was going to shoot it for a cover of Transworld, and they'd got all the permits and done the whole thing down in San Diego. Again, I'm not an authority on this. My story is completely made up and fabricated, likely, but
it's legendary.
Allegedly, you know. Well, Dan figured that was happening, so he did whatever he needed to do. Got in there. Shot the picture before everyone else. So Danny had done the trick. But here's the thing: Danny knew who was there, or did he? I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. And so Dan shot the photo of him jumping out the helicopter and quickly left there and FedExed it immediately, really quick, up to Jake Phelps, Thrasher, straight to the print to try to get it on the cover of Thrasher before it was on the cover of Transworld.
Oh wow!
On their photo shoot.
On their dime.
Wow!
It's epic.
Wow!
I tried to do that.
Wait, but it did happen.
That happened.
Allegedly.
Well, so they didn't put it out there though.
No.
Thrasher didn't do that, or did they?
I don't remember. Did they?
I think they did.
I think they did.
Damn.
I don't know if it was a cover though.
I remember it being a
cover?
Transworld cover.
Yeah,
Right?
Maybe they still ran the cover, but it was I wish Roger was
Like I
here.
said, I
Maybe.
can't remember all of it, but it definitely was
I feel like somebody told that story on the show. If it was Danny Way, maybe he told that story.
Maybe.
That's the way to do it, though, is to try to get on all the covers of the mag the same month without any of them knowing. Epic, that. That's good shit. That.
Yeah. If they didn't know they had they're running the same trick.
I got 2 out of the 3. I tried for 3 in the same month.
Well, the same trick or different tricks?
Different tricks.
He wanted all 3 covers.
I wanted all 3 covers the same month. But I didn't want any of them to know.
Which ones did you get?
Thrasher and the skateboard mag, and then I missed the deadline twice with Bartok trying to get the Transworld one, and we'd have fucking had it, and I had all 3 of them.
Hold on. Wait. Maybe we could pop them up on the screen. Which one was the Thrasher?
Thrasher was Impossible over a roof gap. The skateboard mag was a war ride backside 50-50.
Okay.
Kind of in Las Vegas. It was like a war ride 50-50, like this high. A shot from the back.
Yeah.
Costa.
Anthony Acosta.
Yeah, it was skateboard mag.
Great.
And then the last trick I was trying to get was, I can't remember. You have to ask Bartok, but we tried. Like we were like missed the deadline when we had 2 more days to get it and didn't get the trick and then missed it. We're like fuck, and we tried. Like we were this close to getting all 3 the same month.
Dude.
There's still time. There's still time.
That would have been legendary.
Good, right?
Dude.
And no one knew.
My God.
And they wouldn't have known. Yeah, the other 2 mags didn't know. So the third one definitely didn't know. And but Bartok, I think, kind of knew. That's why we were trying to get that last one through, because I'm like, that would have been nice.
Oh, dude, when photo incentives back then, man, you probably made a good...
I never really got photo incentives.
What?
I wipe all that out of my contracts.
No, you got to send them some invoices right now, man.
I don't know.
Let's get
I'm going to
some
wear it
back pay.
anyway. I'm going to wear the gear. Pay me to wear the gear. Don't pay me to invoice you the next week.
Dude, that is so funny.
Maybe it was good for
bro.
you. A lot of people would have been leaning on that for sure.
No, for sure.
What a funny thing to do. And that was just you having fun, just trying to get it done. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah,
So
you gotta have fun with it now and again.
For sure. Dude.
Did Sturt like present spots to you, or is that mostly just you to him?
No, he definitely like portraits and stuff like that. Like he had a mind, an eye for that. But no, the spots usually I would just send them and go this here, and he'd say yes or no kind of deal. Actually, usually it'd be 8 o'clock in the morning, Saturday. You know, it's Wednesday or something like that. Meet me here. Be at my house at 6:45 in the morning, which is he'd do stuff like that. You know, I'll come, but you got to pick me up here.
It's pretty iconic that like every photo that guy has shot has been like a legendary photo.
Yeah, I mean,
if you really think about it,
he's good at what he does, man.
Yeah,
he's so naturally talented.
It's crazy.
He really is. Like he's like if you talk to even Bartok as well. Bartok's really, really good. Like technically, photography. But Dan's like that too. If you talk to them about it, like you recognize that they're on another level. You know, like big time.
Is he still shooting photos?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think that he would come on the 9 Club, or is he
No way.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No way.
I just
No
thought.
way. You know that list you have? Like he's right at the bottom, and it says "fuck you" right after it. Like he's there. Like
No, we'll make
that.
this death defying though. We'll put like a moat with alligators, and somebody might die.
Nah,
He'll come.
It's not enough.
They'll shoot a photo and then run away.
Gosh.
I'm skateboarding. I'm glad skateboarding has him. You know what I mean? Like he's legendary, and I've never met the dude, but you just hear these stories, and that's makes it cool.
Yeah, he's the man.
I don't even know if anybody ever even knows what he looks like.
Except for Geoff.
Very mysterious.
Jeff said, no, he wore a mask.
Like Schwarzenegger mixed with The Rock. You know, something like that.
God
Big
damn,
ass dude.
That's what he
man.
looks like, huh?
Shit.
You have no idea? No, he
I've just
kind
seen-
of looks like that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's he from? Is he from San Diego?
No. He's from like Michigan, I think. Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's JC's boy.
Oh, there you go. He probably doesn't like us talking about him too much right now, huh?
No,
Okay,
right
well,
now,
sorry,
like,
dude,
he's
sorry.
hating me.
We'll stop it.
He's gonna call me and say, "Fuck," he won't talk to me for a year.
Yeah.
probably.
Well, we're just big fans. That's why,
yeah.
you know.
Dan, we're all just big fans.
Come on, Dan. Come on.
Huge fans, man. Dude, this has been great, dude. I'm so happy for you, bro. Not back, but on Toy Machine now. You're, I love that you guys, you found a home, and Free Dome was awesome. But like this is good, dude. I like that.
Great
I like
fit,
the
great
feeling.
fit.
I like the feeling that you
Yeah.
guys are.
Thanks.
that
Good
you
new
guys are putting
chapter,
out.
right?
Yeah,
Good new
dude.
chapter and a nice, refreshing kind of start again.
Yeah.
You know, maybe take all of the fucking clothes off, go into the beach, and come out a new man.
Okay. Is that what you? If you need to do that, you do that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels refreshing.
right.
It feels refreshing. It does feel right. And I'm happy. And I'll fucking put it in my skating. I'll put it
There you
in my
go.
skating.
And we're looking forward to that 8-minute
Straight
new
up.
video part.
8
that's
minutes?
Hey, Jeff,
Trying to kill me.
3.5 is fine.
you've done it before.
3.5
He
is
said 2
fine.
minutes.
It
over
depends
there.
who it is. You could do
Two
it.
is fine,
He
too.
said I could do 2.
Yeah, I'm
if I do
I'm not
220,
the dictator here, but
Who is
Geoff
he,
Rowley
huh?
could do it. I've seen Van England have a part that was shorter than 2 minutes. It was one of my favorite parts of all time.
Okay, I'm shooting for a 2-minute part.
2 minutes. Listen, we need
2 to
just
8.
Okay.
Anywhere in between.
Listen, just fill up a song,
Okay.
right? And that song's going
I
to be.
got the song already,
It's
though.
Freebird, right? It's a 13-minute song.
No.
Oh,
It's already been used, dude. You
Godspeed,
can't do it.
12 and a half minutes.
that's perfect.
That's my ice bath song. If you need an ice bath song, East Hastings by Godspeed.
You're not taking a 12-and-a-half-minute ice bath,
Yeah,
Jeff. What's
that's
wrong,
it.
with bro? You can't do that.
That's
Is
important.
that too long?
That's way too
No,
long.
that's perfect.
Okay.
Godspeed, East Hastings.
Jeff
love it.
Rowley, everybody. Listen, can we give you some 9 Club stuff to take home with you, dude?
would
We have a
love it,
couple
yeah.
little.
We got some
little
Yetis.
yeah, we got some stuff. Kelly, we do the honors,
Yeah.
bro. And
What
get Jeff
size,
some nice-
Tees,
yeah,
large.
large,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you.
large, man. And we're running low on the merch, but hopefully soon we'll send you a box. But we got a couple little things.
Trade you for
dude.
knives.
Dude, that would be amazing, actually.
I'll send you some knives.
Yeah, man. And also, that was a really cool thing that you did, and we really did appreciate you sending us a bunch of boards. That was
Yeah, it was
awesome,
really dope, bro.
dude.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So thank you for
Anytime.
that, bro. We appreciate that.
1,000%.
And get on that tour. I want to see you out there with those guys, man. They are the most
I
traveling
don't know if I
team.
can keep up with Braden. He's an animal. My
Dude.
goodness.
Dude, I didn't realize
Maybe
he
when I
so
was
young.
23, I could have.
Yeah.
Dude, Dakota, Leo, Bray. I mean, they've got such a rad crew, dude.
Yeah, they do.
I'd love to see a little tour video, you know?
I think
traveling the U.S., jumping that.
I mean, Toy Machine makes videos constantly, right? So, and I skate. I'm pretty active, so I'm sure.
You and Sinclair, in the van.
Welcome to Hell, Part 2.
Hey, there you go.
That would be fucking legendary.
You and Sinclair in the van, driving cross country.
Look at this.
We got a nice assortment. First,
this
Jeff,
is great.
first of all, dude,
Thank
pleasure, dude. Thank you so much for coming back on the show. You know that door is always open, Jeff. Anytime you want to come back in and talk about
I'm around for another few years. I'll come back again.
Talk about your new 12.5-minute part. Yeah. Break it down. Listen, keep the hat on out there. Get the sun visor, when you're out there doing your little hunts and stuff like that. He's going to put it on right now. I love that, Jeff. There you go. Look at that. He's adjusting it.
Find the perfect
Got
fit
the trucker
here.
hat.
There you go.
Beautiful. Look at that. Jeff, you look amazing in that thing, bro. We did talk about covers. Okay, here's some sticker packs. If you do get the next cover, $20. That's our photo incentives. We'll finally get you a photo incentive, Jeff.
These will look nice.
After all these years, $20.
These will look nice on the side of the cooler.
Also, keep them feet warm when you're out in the mountains, man.
Give those to the wife.
Stance. Okay, whatever works.
Stays the family, man. It's all good.
Also, when you're out there hunting, I know that you guys like to play your little techno music or something, when you're out there. True, you attract all the wildlife.
Play some Luke Combs on it.
We'll play some, there's a skull candy, you know what I mean? We'll give the animals a nice little show. Also,
not too much Iron Maiden, not enough Motorhead.
Whatever works, bro. Yeti. Shout out to Yeti, man. They've been a big supporter of Mr. Geoff Rowley over here and the 9 Club. We got a nice Yeti thermos for you right there.
Very nice.
Boom.
I think you were one of the first skaters to work with Yeti.
Yeah, I was.
Am I not mistaken?
Yeah. I was working with them through the hunting stuff I do for a few years.
Yeah.
Before we went into skate kind of deal. So I think I was the first sponsored skateboarder for the brand.
Yeah.
Humbled. And I was the first to have a print ad.
And look at him now. Look at him now.
Rad brand.
Really
Rad brand. Saves throwing plastic water bottles all over the place. And you know what I mean? Great brand. I'm stoked.
And they're dishwasher safe.
Dishwasher safe.
Great. That's beautiful, man. I throw all my stuff in the dishwasher tubs.
I'm starting to too now.
Nice. Thank you. Oh, nice. Look at him. I love Jeff.
Yeah,
he's putting on all the gear as we speak. Look at that 9 Club shirt.
That's fresh.
That's for you.
That's got a 49ers vibe.
There you go. And Jeff, so we appreciate you and thank you so much. And look, he's even putting the plastic in his pocket, man. We have a trash can.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, man. Till next time.
Till next time.